Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my final year project journey. I'll be sharing the problems I faced, how frustrated I was at certain points, how many months it took me to complete, what I feel about the project now, the future enhancement I want to make, and how I got several of my project ideas rejected before finally choosing this one. Since this wasn't a group project, I'll also talk about the challenges of doing everything on my own, from developing the project, creating documentation, fixing errors, preparing the PPT, making corrections, printing reports, preparing the manual, getting everything ready for binding, and much more. Also, quick disclaimer, I won't be showing the project demo in this video. I'll upload a separate video for the project demo along with a detailed explanation of how it works. I'll also upload another video where I'll go through my PPT presentation. As for the documentation, it has way too many pages, so let's skip that for now. Without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, in my college, every student gets assigned a guide separately. My guide had 3 students from my class. We were a total of 39 students in our batch, and there were also students from other departments like MCA and MSc. Back in January 2026, we got our guide allocations. After that, all of us were asked to choose a project topic, prepare an abstract, decide on the technologies we wanted to use, and then present everything to our respective guides. If the guide approved the idea, we could continue with the project. Now here's where things started getting interesting. I spent almost a month searching for project ideas. I was literally carrying around 50 different project abstracts. Some of them are missing now, but I still have a few with me. I will probably put their names on the screen while editing this video. Anyways, I went to my guide, explained my first project idea, and rejected. His reason? He said the topic was too old and had probably been done around 10 years ago. Not gonna lie, I felt really frustrated. I had spent so much time searching for ideas, and hearing that wasn't exactly fun. But I didn't give up. I went back again with more ideas. This time, I suggested things related to DSA and game-like concepts such as maze and puzzles projects. I honestly don't remember all the technical details now, but I was trying everything I could think of. I even suggested a poker related project because I thought it sounded interesting. But I got rejected again. At that point, I had 2 major options left. One was the final year project that I eventually completed. The other was an AI language tutor project that could teach different languages. Honestly, I really liked that idea. But after discussing it with a few people, they told me it would take a lot more time, requires additional resources, and would be difficult to complete using only my laptop. Since I was already running out of time, I decided to drop it. I also suggested an object detection project using YOLO and OpenCV. My guide's response, already done. According to him, similar projects had already been completed years ago. Some other ideas were rejected because they looked more like games than final year projects. At that point, I was seriously wondering if any of my ideas would ever get approved. Finally, I explained the project that I ended up doing. I discussed the concept, the technologies I plan to use, and overall implementation. And this time, he said, "Okay, do it." Trust me, I was so relieved. Now the actual work started. The project took me around 3 months to complete. During February, I was extremely busy because our college sent us to different cities to conduct examination in schools, so I barely had time to focus on the project. Most of my serious work happened during March. I practically sat down and worked on it continuously until I finished everything before the final review in April. We had 4 reviews in total, plus a mock Viva before the final review. And honestly, the project itself wasn't the hardest part. The documentation and PPT presentation almost drove me crazy. Doing everything alone meant I had to handle development, documentation, presentations, corrections, printing, everything. But looking back, it was a good learning experience. Now let's talk about the mock Viva. I was absolutely terrified. I reached college around 10 a.m. My friend finished her Viva in the morning itself. Meanwhile, I was sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. I finally got called around 2:30 p.m. My friend stayed the entire time just so we could go home together afterward. When I entered the room, I was so nervous. My hands were cold, my heart was racing. I started explaining my project. Somehow I managed to answer the questions and eventually came out. But even after finishing, I felt like I had messed everything up. I told my friend, I don't think I did that well, and she was like, leave it, let's focus on the final review, we'll do better. And honestly, that helped me calm down. Then came the D-Day, the final review. It was scheduled before our final exams in April 2026. Just like the mock Viva, we were divided into two batches. Since my name starts with S and my roll number was 36, I assumed I would be called much later, maybe around noon, maybe even after that. But surprise! That day they decided to start from the last roll number. So suddenly I became one of the first few students to present. I think I was the fourth person called. The moment my name was announced, my brain literally went, wait, already? Anyway, I went in, wished everyone, opened my presentation, and started explaining everything in English. After the presentation, they asked me a few questions. One question I still remember was, why did you choose this topic? One of the reviewers told me that this kind of project is actually quite challenging because issues like accuracy and other technical factors can affect the results. But despite that, she appreciated my effort, said it was good work, and wished me all the best. Hearing that honestly made me feel relieved. When I walked out of that room, it felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. At the same time, I knew there was still so much more I wanted to do. I feel like my project is only the beginning. There are many future enhancements I wanted to add after graduation once I gain more knowledge and experience. The main reason I couldn't implement everything now was because of limited time, limited resources, and honestly being new to some of these technologies. But that's okay. Every project starts somewhere, and I'm proud that I completed mine. In upcoming videos after I upload the demo, I'll talk about all the future enhancements I want to make and why I believe they can make the project much better. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and before I forget, let's talk about the documentation cost. For our final year project, we had to submit 2 copies of the documentation, one for ourselves and one for the university. For me, the total cost came to around Rs 966. For my friend, it was around Rs 844. The cost actually depends on the number of pages in your report, so it can be different for everyone. Now, don't get me wrong, the price is pretty reasonable considering the printing, binding, and all that. But the fact that we spent all that money on documentation that we will probably never open again is kind of painful. Me, after paying 966, cries quietly in the corner. I remember looking at the bill and thinking, wow, that's almost Rs 1,000. As a student, seeing money leaves your wallet like that definitely hurts a little. But I guess that's just part of the final year project experience. And before ending the video, a lot of you might be curious about my project marks. So I got 37 in internal and 58 in external, making it a total of 95 out of 100. Honestly, after all the stress, documentation, reviews, and Viva sessions, I was just happy that everything went well in the end. And with that, we can wind up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, I truly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe, and Saranghae! Bye everyone!